Aha Moments is brought to you by Das Fort Media.
Hi, I'm Alena Chapman, an author of You Can't Escape from a Prison If You Don't Know You're in One. And this is Aha Moments, the moments that you realize awareness and, if you choose to listen, leads you on a journey of growth. Join me to explore people and their aha moments along with the awesome journeys of growth that happen for them. Hi everyone, and welcome to Aha Moments with Alena. And today I have a quote to start us off. It's called the quote is, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." I love that quote. And it was our guest who gave me that quote. It's by Lao Tzu. And I would like to introduce you to Matt De Vincenzo. Did I pronounce that totally correct?
Pretty close.
Okay, close. I'm starting. And now Matt lives in Canada. He founded a construction company called Devi Construction. And am I correct? You do foundations, basically.
Correct. That's how it started, with foundations.
And the construction company is doing fabulously. But this company has another side to it that I just, that's why I brought Matt on. But first, I would like to start the quote. I asked Matt to give me his favorite quote. So this quote that I read was from Matt. And I would like him to talk a little bit about why this quote is his favorite and why he chose this one.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Well, that particular quote, there's a lot of things that just resonate. Sometimes you hear something, it just resonates with you and it sticks with you. That one has stuck for me. I heard it once and it stuck with me forever. And what it means to me is, it doesn't matter how long or how impossible it seems, if you don't start heading in that direction, you're never going to get there.
Yes.
So just start. Even if it's 1,000 miles, just start. Take one step in the right direction and just take the next one and then the one after that, and everything else just falls into place. But it won't unless you take that direction.
Awesome.
So to me, first determine what you want. Start going in that direction and everything you need will come to you as you need it.
Exactly.
It all starts with one step.
It starts with that very first step, which is sometimes the hardest step to take. But yes, it's very, very, very cool. All right, well, I would like you to tell me a little bit about your business and what led you, even more so, what led you to your business? How did you get to where you are now?
Well, led is the proper word to use. I was led there. Initially, I was always I was born wanting to work hard, not like most people. I mean, I really wanted to work and sweat and work hard and be dirty. This is what I wanted. I enjoyed that. I really did. And so I started off as an auto mechanic and from Montreal originally. And I don't know what happened. Somewhere in my early 20s, I started getting this really strong desire to leave. And I had a real passion for mechanics. I really enjoyed it. I loved having beat up hands and twisting wrenches and fixing stuff and building stuff. I always enjoyed it. And but something came over me. I just felt like I had to leave. I was done with that city. That city had nothing left to offer me, or something. Anyways, I couldn't explain it at the time. I understand now. Spirit was guiding me, but at the time I didn't. It was just something that was stronger than me. And so I up and left. I was looking, and I was gonna go anywhere. It didn't even matter. And then out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, I got a cousin that lives here who just came down because he was having a bad time, and he came down to Montreal, and he stayed a week. And at the end of the week, I decided I was coming to Calgary. And so just like that, I was led to Calgary. But the decision was made that I was leaving, you see?
Yes.
The decision was made. I was leaving. I just didn't know where I was going. Now the rest just fell into place. And what's important about that is I wasn't really trying. I was just going to go anywhere.
Right.
I was just led to Calgary.
You were led.
And then, so it's not like I was a super economical guy that studied all the financial reasons why I should move here. I just did. And so when I moved here, and again, it was annoying.
You felt there was an inner knowing.
That's
You
right.
followed. That is an aha. That is an
That's
aha
an
moment.
aha. Yep.
And you followed it, and you took the first step, trusting,
Yes.
and that faith. Again, we're
Yes.
going to come back to that faith because you have phenomenal faith. But taking that first step and
Yes.
going for the aha moment. Okay, keep
Right.
going. Let's see where it led you.
But it was more than just faith. It's yes, the faith is there. There's no doubt about it. I know it's going to work out. But it was not that. It was also doing what I wanted.
Okay.
Don't think for a second that not everybody I spoke to tried to talk me out of it. I almost couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I bet. I
But it
bet.
didn't matter. That's what I wanted, so that's what I did.
Very cool.
That's very important.
It's
Don't let
very
people talk
important.
you out. Yeah, if you want it from inside, you just got to do it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it.
That's
Ever,
right. That's right.
ever.
That's
And they'll
right.
have lots of logical reasons. Don't listen, because if they had what you wanted, is the only time you should be listening to what they've got to say.
That's
If they have
right.
what you want, don't even pay attention.
Very, very, very good
Right?
advice. Yeah. Very, very
So, or
good.
listen, don't make them feel bad about it, but just disregard it as soon as you're gone. Don't have to be rude about it, but that's the way I look at things. And so, in any case, at that point in my life, nobody I knew had anything I wanted. So I just did what I wanted. And that's what I wanted. So I came to Calgary, and, it was consistent with being, liking to work and use my hands and thinking and all this other stuff and building. And I had an uncle. I also like construction. So I went with him for just to help him out with some renovations. And then I found a job doing foundations. It was just a job. I didn't even know what it was.
Okay.
It was just a job. And for all intents and purposes, it was a really bad job. You were working with the elements. You were outside all day, so you're working the rain, the snow, the mud,
Wow. Yeah.
the wind, hot, cold. It didn't matter.
Oh,
And so most people would think this is crazy, and it was very labor intensive. But I liked it. It was right up my alley. I enjoyed it.
okay.
So
Cool.
it was just a job. I paid $9 an hour to start, and I was 50 cents more than I was making back then in the 90s
Okay.
as almost journeyman mechanic. I was still an apprentice.
Yeah.
And like, hey, 50 cents. I'm working
I'll
outside.
take
This is
it.
great. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it wasn't long till I wanted to start my own company because I always had that drive. And the problem I had was I didn't know how to get the money. I didn't know how to make it. And nobody wants to help you when you're in that position. And so I tried many times for different opportunities. It didn't work. I didn't know how to go about it.
Okay.
And it just didn't work. I didn't get the company going right away. I was ready to do it
Right.
after a couple of years, but I lined up all the contracts. I found workers. I found everything. All I was missing was an investor.
Oh man.
Uh,
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
didn't know how to get the money. I just didn't know how.
Right.
And so eventually, what happened there is I enjoyed what I was doing. I got injured, and then I realized, for as much as I love working, if something ever happens to me, no one's going to take care of me
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
like, I had a brutal realization that that's how the world is.
Mm.
And
Wow.
my boss at the time, I was off for 8 days, and I think it was 8 or 9 days, and I had no income whatsoever coming in. And I was a really good worker. I mean, I really worked hard for the company,
Right.
but that didn't mean anything because I wasn't worth anything while I wasn't working.
Oh wow.
And so I said, if I got to do something here,
Yeah.
something's got to change because I'm young now, but if this happens later, I'll be hooped.
Right. You
And so
will.
it got me thinking on something else. Well, I didn't know how to get the money, and so I took a position in sales instead. Now,
Oh.
again, I just followed an instinct.
Okay.
I had no
Okay.
clue. I had never sold anything. Never done anything like that before. And then I walked out onto the car lot, and I got because of my mechanical background, I went into selling cars first, and I
Okay.
did really well, really fast.
Wow.
I realized I had an ability for selling and speaking to people, and again, it was very simple. Just do everything for the right reasons, and everything else falls into place. So I started selling cars. I did really well. I moved on from there. I took a position afterwards in outside sales, selling copiers and photocopiers.
Now, why did you choose to go into sales? Of all the other things that you could have done, what was it that made you go to sales?
Oh yeah, so I knew I had to do something. I didn't have the money to start my own business, but I had to do something that would generate a better income. for
Right.
me that if I got hurt, it wouldn't really matter. And I had some friends that were in sales. Actually, I was dating a girl.
Okay. Oh, that helps. Yeah.
I was dating a girl. I had some friends in sales, but I was dating one girl particularly, and she wasn't exactly a rocket scientist.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
here I am boasting one day about what a provider I am, how I can be,
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I had gone out and I'd really busted my hump to make $200 in a few hours. And
Wow.
I'm like, this, you see, I mean, I can make things happen. I said,
Right.
what's the most you've ever earned in a day? And she's like, she starts laughing, right? She says, no, you don't want to ask me that. I said, why? And she says, the most I ever made in a day was 18,000. So I'm like, wait a minute
Oh,
here. Hang on a second.
yeah, that's a shocker right
There's my
there.
aha moment right
That's your
there.
aha moment.
I
That's
said,
funny.
okay. I said, I think I need a new career choice. So that was kind of what pushed me over the edge.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, long story short, I got into sales. I did really well, made some money, and then my heart was always in construction. So now that I
Okay.
had the money, I came back and started my own company.
I see. So you were your own investor.
Yes.
How perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you learn the sales, and I bet that helps you in your business
Absolutely.
now.
I tell you that I'm a lot different than most of my competitors. I know how to put professional proposals together. I know how to meet with people. I know how to conduct myself. It helped me a lot. And so again, you coming back to a vision I had when I was young. I wasn't ready for it, but the universe provides. And so
Yes,
I
it
had to go through a
does.
series of steps to become the right person to take
Don't
this
we all?
business off the ground.
That's exactly. It's a journey. It's a journey.
It is a journey, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh
And the
my.
journey, don't kid yourself, is not about what you do, but it's always about who you become.
Exactly. Talk a little bit more
Talk,
about that. Yeah, you can do it. I know you can. I mean,
talk.
a little bit more about who you become. I mean, and I know that too. I mean, the journey I had, and my journey was not so easy either. But going through it, it made me who I am,
Hmm.
and I would not trade my journey for any other journey
Hmm.
because it's brought me to where I am now. And I think that does create, well, I wouldn't be doing this podcast show. I would not be discovering what I'm discovering. But what about you? I mean, how have you found
How have I found?
this becoming you? How has it formed your perception? How has it furthered your perception? Because you always sort of knew to
Yeah.
follow your
Hmm.
aha moments, obviously.
Hmm. Hmm.
But there's more to it than that. I mean, okay, I met you in Toronto,
That's right.
and one of the things I thought to myself, boy, this man has it together. This man is really cool, and it was because I called it faith, but
Hmm.
it's just a knowing. It's a knowing
Yes.
and trusting, which is what I call faith, that everything is going to turn out the way it's supposed to. And it's a no fail faith. I mean, you just are right there with it. And I would like you, do you know how many people don't, are craving that? They're craving that. They don't have it. Tell us a little bit how you developed that. And yeah, just start with how you
Interesting.
developed it.
Okay. I'm not really sure how I developed it. I kind of always had it.
Wow, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pinpoint how I developed it, I didn't. I'll tell you what made it a lot stronger. It was studying Bob's material, Bob Proctor.
Ah, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's my biggest aha moment is learning about Bob Proctor because the second I start listening to anything he's got to say, it resonates with me instantly,
That's very cool.
instantly, and I get it. And so he just explains what I already knew. And
When in your journey did you start listening to Bob?
about a year ago,
Oh, wow, only a year.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a year, yeah.
Okay. And what clicked? What was that aha that you said, "Wow, this is
Well, I
something."
spent my life looking for answers, and I developed a lot of the answers with my knowing. Like you say, I have this knowing.
Mhm.
And so and a lot of people would look to me for answers because they kind of saw that I had some answers.
Yeah.
And I had a way of explaining things, but it wasn't because anybody taught me. It was just like an understanding, and I just explained it the way I saw it, and
Cool.
and that's all it was. But nobody had never explained it to me. Nobody had ever explained to me what I already knew. Nobody ever did that, ever.
Wow.
And I listened to Bob for the first time, and he's saying all the stuff that I'm thinking, and he's using all the right words. He's articulating it correctly. And I said, I gotta meet this guy. This guy's
Cool.
something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
he
cool.
knows something. This is incredible. And so the second I started applying, the second I was able to put a law to what I was doing and understand that there's a law here, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cross on the
Universal
green
law.
light. If you cross on the green light, whether you know that the law is green means go or not, chances are you're not going to get hit by a car coming the other way if
Right.
you're always following the law.
Right.
And so once I understood this, that's got to be one of my greatest aha moments. And so from that point, everything just kind of fell into place. Um, as far as getting to his I didn't know what he did. I didn't even know he had a business around teaching this. I didn't know that, right?
Right. Right. You just
Yeah,
thought
he's
he was speaking
just a guy that,
words.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was something I had. I'll tell you what manifested that though was maybe just a few months before that. So last year was 2013, in November 2013, or no, it was about August. And the
Uh-huh.
whole year before that, all of 2013, I knew I had reached a point in my business. I had gotten it to a certain level, and I
Right.
had, and I honestly didn't know how I did it.
Right.
And I just knew 100%. You know how you
Unconscious.
have this knowing?
Yeah. Yes.
I,
Yes.
I didn't know I didn't know how I was going to take it any further.
Okay.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't feel it. And I felt really lost. And I was looking at this Shark Tank, the television show, The Shark Tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was watching The Shark Tank, and I'm like, look at these guys. They're no different than me. I could see all their personalities, all the little traits. They just knew something I didn't.
Right. Right.
They were working with some stuff, and I'm like, how do you become that person? And I admired them for being so disciplined and knowledgeable on the side of business. And, they weren't going with their feelings. They were going with what they knew. And I
Right.
said, how do you become that person? That question
Cool.
it just kept running in my mind.
Right.
And then, just to keep it in a nutshell, I came across Bob Proctor, and from there, I think my wife had requested something from him on Facebook to become part of his page, and then I got this pop up of Bob saying "Science of Getting Rich," and I said yes to that. And I went there and I met Arash, and Arash sold me this
There
and
you
that.
go. Yeah.
I'm right into it.
Yeah, you
And,
are. Would
and
you
that's how it happened.
would you tell us, okay, now I want to delve a little bit into your company because like I said in the beginning, your company has a little bit of something there that's special. And I would like to talk about the aha moment that brought you to what you do with all the workers you have and the family you develop with your company. I would like to delve more into that, the aha moment and what you've done.
I see. So coming back to that injured part where I got injured
Uh-huh.
and was going to take care of me, I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling.
No, no. So
So
helpless. Yeah.
the different thing that I did right at the get go was, as I started hiring guys, um, my concern has always been other people more than myself. That's never changed. Um,
Good
so
quality.
so it started, yeah, because you do. I mean, you do because you start off with profits in mind, and profits are always the bottom line. You
Right.
must be profitable, or none of this happens.
Right.
So it's important not to have such a good heart where you're just throwing your money away. I mean, you've got to be a good-hearted person, but they've also got to be making you money. Let's
Right.
not get that confused.
Right. Right.
Uh, but what happened was, the guys come, and what I found was this knowing that you say I have, which I know what you're talking about. Most don't,
Right.
and I did, and so I used that to attract customers, to attract more work, to attract business, to attract everything I need to get to where I'm going. And as a result, anybody that comes along for the ride benefits from that. And the one thing I found for sure is you got to take care of your people.
Yes.
You've got to take care of.
Yes.
And so, I've created an environment with them where there's no competition, for starters.
Cool.
I've created that environment myself. I don't compete with anybody. I just do what I have to do, and whoever wants to use me uses me. It just happens to be a lot of people want to use me. And with the workers, they got to come in, they got to work, and they got to show they want to be there. If they don't want to be there, I don't want them there. But if you want to be here, we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you how to lead. We're going to teach you how to think. We're going to teach you how to read drawings. We're going to teach you how to be responsible. We'll teach you everything you've got to know to make it in this world.
Absolutely
That if you
fabulous.
follow everything I teach you, you can leave my company and go make something of yourself,
Very
whether
cool.
you're here or not. But you're better off sticking around and staying here.
But that's phenomenal, and that's totally different than a lot of philosophies for a lot of companies. They don't think about the workers in this way. You know that. You've worked in some of those companies. But to actually care about the people you're bringing in and to give them, if they want to work and they're there, but they might not they have the skill, but they need to get further, you'll train them, you'll get them into it, you'll teach them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a family. You give them support and no competition.
that's right.
No competition.
No,
It's a safe environment.
it's a safe environment. Those who advance are just further ahead than you are right now. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're not going to get. When you're ready, you let me know, and we'll work something out for you. We'll create a position that'll put you in a position to lead. Now, if you're not ready for that, some guys aren't. Just be honest.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't want the responsibility of leading and, and moving equipment at night and making sure the guys are on time and meeting schedules,
Right.
if you don't want that, that's fine. Then let somebody else lead.
Yeah.
It's your choice. You tell me when you're ready. When you're ready, I'll create the opportunity.
Awesome.
So don't ever feel that you've been passed. That's
You
never.
know, we need to get your philosophy in every part of corporate America. We do. I mean, imagine. I was at a luncheon yesterday. And it's called Pass the Torch, and it's to help women in 500 companies, in industry, getting up in the corporate. And there are fewer women. And they're saying, why is this? And we were just talking about it. And I just thought, if it was an environment from people I know in corporate America, it's so dog eat dog and watch your back and all this political. But if we went about it, what we want is exactly what you're doing with your company.
Absolutely, every time.
Isn't that amazing? You're
Every time.
ahead of your time, Matt. You're ahead of your time. All right. Well, now I want to go back to the knowing because that's something that you have that is just a very cool aspect. Talk about from here to what you're looking for in the future, and how Bob always talks about, and I do too. When you have where you are, and where you're going, and you don't worry about the grid in between.
That's right. That's right.
Talk a little bit because that's where that faith or that knowing or that trust comes into play.
Yeah. How do I explain that? So, yeah, it's just knowing that you're gonna get there. I mean, you got to know that it doesn't matter what. Everything happens by law,
Right.
and you ordered it.
You better explain that a little bit more. I know what you're talking about, but I want you to explain that because that's
Yes.
a very, 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 very key.
So when you go to the restaurant and you order off the menu, you don't really know how they're going to put it all together. You just know they are. And you know that that meal is going to come to your table and you're going to eat it. And that's all you know. You don't know all the little parts. You don't know about the delivery guy that delivered the fresh bread, that delivered the steak, or whatever it is you're about to eat. You don't know how it all came to be. You just know that when you order it, it's coming.
Right.
That's it. So it kind of works that way. So if you're going to set your mind and say, okay, I want, I don't know what you would want, but whatever.
I don't know.
I want to earn $100,000 a year, a month,
Right.
a day, whatever it is. You just set it, and you know it's going to happen. Look, there are already people earning a lot. If we're going to base this around earning money, earning dollars, there are already people earning lots of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So the question not is it possible. The
Right.
question is what are they doing that I'm not? It's possible they're already doing it.
Right. Right.
So if you want it, you just got to start doing some of the same things that they're doing, and it's going to come to you. So To know it's going to happen is a given. Of course, it's going to happen if you really want it.
Exactly.
So the question is to know it in your heart that you can have it and that you will have it. Now, the key becomes once you know and you set it. So you've got to feel it. And this is a hard one to explain. You've got to feel it.
Right.
Say, I want to do this with my life, and you can just feel it. And if you can't feel it, you're going to struggle with this. But if you can feel it and you can see yourself doing whatever you're doing at that level, you can see it, you can feel it, and you just know it's coming and you can taste it. Well, that's the annoying part.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets easy. That's the hard part. You see, most people don't know where they're going.
Right. Right. Most people.
If you can figure that out, all you got to do now is
internalize
follow
it.
your intuition, follow your impulses, and very, very important. Don't try to make it happen. Let it happen.
Let
It's
it happen.
happening. It's
That's
not
right.
up to you anymore. You placed your order. Now, just follow your intuition and do whatever your intuition leads you to do. If you can do that, it'll happen.
Don't you find, Matt, okay, if I find out what I want, okay, I wanted to write a book. There you
Yeah.
go. So what do? I started thinking about it. This is the idea, the desire starts coming, right? And I start thinking about it. I'm starting to think, man, I really think it would be great to just be able to sit there and just write out everything. Just in a nice, calm place, be able to write. Before I know it, I'm starting to act it. I'm going to a coffee shop an hour a day. And I'm just writing. Do I know what I'm writing? No, I don't have a clue. I'm doing a journal thing. I'm just keeping track of stuff I'm writing. Then, before I know it, it's about 2 hours. Then I'm starting to think stuff started to happen. Like I'm sitting there complaining about my computer because I'm not a techie and it was giving me problems. And the guy sitting at the other end of the table said, "What you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying to get this computer to work." He says, "Are you a writer?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Well, I'm a writer." And he had published 2 books. All of a sudden, these people, and I was meeting writers left and right. It was amazing,
Exactly.
who were helping me with the process.
Exactly.
And see, I didn't plan that, but because I could see, and I'm just reiterating what you say, that I wanted to be a writer. This is what I wanted to be. And because I wanted it so bad and I internalized it and I could see myself doing it, I could visualize it, I started to act it. And then the universe said, "You ordered it. I'll start bringing
Exactly.
you the stuff to make it happen."
Here it comes. Get
Yeah,
ready.
that's about right.
That's about right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is exactly. Don't worry about the how. Just let it happen. Just something
Right.
led you to go. I'm going to go to wherever you want, Starbucks or whatever.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
going to sit down and
Starbucks.
write a book. And something led you to do it at that particular moment.
That's right.
And something also led that guy to notice you struggling with your computer.
That's
I mean,
right.
this all happened by law. This was not a mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't a coincidence. But first, you made a decision.
And we keep talking about law, and we probably should tell the audience a little bit. We're talking about the universal law. Why don't you kind of tell them a little bit about that, Matt, or how you understand it?
Well, to simplify it, how I understand it is, it's to explain it simply is it's almost like the universe is working for you,
Ah, excellent. I like that. Yes.
right?
Yes, it
And
is.
and it will provide anything you want, anything you desire. And if what you desire is in great service to others, it provides it very quickly.
Yes. The
If
benefit
it's
of all.
self-centered, it'll still provide it. It just may take you a little bit longer because there's other people on the
Right.
waiting list that need it more than you do.
Right.
But if your purpose is to help people more, so the more you are in service to others, the quicker it responds. You just got to know what's going to happen. That's the law, and I guess that would be the law of attraction. But there's many laws,
Yes, there
but
are
I
a lot.
think the law of attraction, because I'm not that. Look, I know all these things, but I don't know all the. How do I explain the law of attraction? Law of attraction is you attract what you think about, correct?
Right. And these laws of the universe, people describe them in different ways, but they are there to help us. It's working within them. What I'm trying to think. Bob Proctor does talk about this, but also the book, Working with the Law, and I think it's Holloway. I'm going to have to look that up, but he even goes so far as to say when you're working with the law, you're working with God.
Yes.
and that's the universe. And when you work, well, because you're working with the law, you're actually getting closer to God, and then things start to happen. And do I
Yes.
believe that? Yes, because I've experienced it in my own life. You've experienced it in your own life,
Absolutely.
and it's a very cool revelation. And yes, and then you do gain that, what I call faith or trust that it will happen.
It happens. It just does. Yeah, it does every time.
And Matt knew it before he even studied any of this.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
got it
I was
naturally.
I was doing a lot of that. I've always my mom. And it's fun now. My mom always put me down for that. For you help others before yourself all the time. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I got that too.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find the more people I talk to had that, those are the more successful ones.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
hmm And so
Ah,
it really does come down to that. When you put, I mean, yeah, got to think about yourself too. But when you do kind of put others first, it just seems to all work out.
it
I couldn't even
does.
tell you how, but I don't know if I've done a good job of explaining the law or not because I'm still kind of new to it too.
I think you're doing well. I think you're
Yeah,
doing very well. I think
I
you're
haven't got,
explaining everything.
I haven't got the 54 years that Bob's got,
Yeah.
but I know, I definitely know it, and I don't question it. But I'll tell you though, sometimes when you do set the bar high, uh, you're still human. Let's not forget about this. I'll tell you another component that I do that helps me a lot is, you have to understand it's about who you become. It's about who you are.
Right.
You see, somebody asks me, what do you want to earn so much money for?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And right away, they're coming from a place of, you know,
Yeah.
need. Why would you want that much money? What are you going to do with all that?
Negative. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was negative. And,
Yeah.
and right away, I realized, wow, why am I sharing this with you? This is ridiculous. But I thought about it. And then I'm like, well, the reason why is it's not because of how much money. I'm comfortable now. I don't need any more money. I'm very
Right.
comfortable now.
Right.
It's not because of the money. It's because of who I've got to become to earn that kind of money.
Right.
That's the
Right.
reason.
Right.
And
And
so,
not the negative person. It's the person of growth, of developing and of awareness.
mhm,
That's the person you're going to
yes.
become to gain it. Not when we say, because sometimes when we say we want to earn money, yeah, people do go to that negative and they think of becoming a greedy person but no, that's not what it's about. It's
No,
about the awareness that it takes to acquire all the abundance in your life, not just the money, but the love, the family, the idea of how we're all connected. All that aspect just grows and grows the more successful we are in our lives. Am I
correct.
describing that correctly for you?
Correct.
I
Yes.
don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, 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 no. That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. So the higher you become, the bigger person you become, the more you attract everything. Money is energy.
Yes.
So it's not a question of earning it, it's a question of attracting it. And how do you attract it? You match the frequency
That's right.
that it's on, whatever it is that you want. And I had a hard time understanding this for the longest time. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Huh? What does
Yes.
that mean?
What does
How
that
do
mean?
you, what? Frequency. And so just like a radio station, if I can explain this correctly,
Sure. Go
see, I
for
work
it.
with Kathy
Oh,
Melnitsky.
yeah. Yeah. I love her.
She's an
She's
energy
sweet.
healer. And now,
Yeah.
of course, to anybody in my industry, that's just absurd.
Yeah. Well,
Probably to most people it is, but
yes, it
frankly, I don't
is.
really care what anybody else thinks.
No, no. She's a very
Care
cool
about-
person.
Exactly. And so Kathy, I learn a lot from her, and she clears the energy for me. She clears the path.
Right.
That's a big one. So we're talking about becoming a certain person. That's the way to do it
Right.
because that's the unseen part. That's the invisible part that you can't see.
Right.
But somebody who's in tune with that can feel it and clear the path for you. That I think is more important than all the
Give you
work you're going to do.
clarity. Yeah. It gives you clarity. It
Yeah,
gives you, yeah. It opens
right.
you up.
And it
Very
puts you on
much
the right
so.
frequency. And so this whole universe is built on frequencies. They're everywhere, vibrations and frequencies, right? That's how
Yeah.
we get,
Right.
you know, that's how we get the connection between your radio and a radio station. It's through a
Right.
frequency.
Right.
Well, when you match the
Exactly.
frequency of the radio station you want to listen to, now you're listening to the music that they're broadcasting.
Exactly.
So somewhere there's a broadcast for whatever you desire. You just got to match that frequency. And the way to do that is to work on yourself.
That's exactly right.
Did I explain that correctly? Is
Yes, you
that
did. I think you did a very good job with that.
awesome? Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, raising it up. And for people who always feel stuck stuck in their lives, and they're trying to have trouble with that idea of frequency. It's to start with, it's getting your frequency higher by doing things that you love, starting to study yourself and being grateful for all the things you're about and the world around you, becoming aware of the world around you, getting and being truly thankful, feeling connected. I mean, God gives us gifts every day if we open our eyes. And that starts to raise your frequency. And the more you raise your frequency, then you start to look around and see opportunities, because you're at the frequency where your eyes are starting to open.
That's right.
You're starting to open your eyes to all the wonderful, you're having awareness to all the possibilities. And then as you start to get these possibilities and you want to go higher and higher, you keep opening your eyes more, and you start believing more and believing in yourself more and believing in the journey, and you start matching the frequencies higher and higher. And that's how we grow, and that's how our aha moments keep coming and coming and coming.
Absolutely. That's how they come. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Matt, this was so much fun.
It was fun. Yes, absolutely.
Oh
I
my
enjoyed
gosh.
it.
Now,
I don't know if I answered everything.
oh, you did beautiful. You could not do not well. Like I said, you amazed me when very first time I met you. I was just like, wow, this guy really has it going on. I did.
Thank you.
So, now, for everyone who's listening, what would you like to leave them with? What wise words from Matt would you like to leave them with?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you this. I work with a few people, quite a few people. And the one common denominator that I find with everyone is they really don't know what they want.
Yes.
They've just accepted whatever their parents or society has given them. They accept it.
Yes. Very true.
And if you're going to do anything, if you're going to achieve anything, you must know where you're going. You must know where you're going.
Yes.
You've really got to take some time and think about what you really want. That's the thing I've found, is that most people, when you start talking to them, not everyone, just most, the ones who are stuck, it's because they don't really know where they're going. That's the real hang up.
That's right.
And so if you're going to take some time to really think about what it is that you want. I know Bob Proctor's got a program called Thinking into Results.
Yes.
And that really forces you to think about what you want. It really, really does. You got to play hardball with yourself. You got to answer your own questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure there's other people that have got similar products, but that's a very good one. Anything Bob does is excellent, I think.
Yeah.
And so that's what you really got to do, is sit down and figure out what you want. It doesn't have to be anything financial. It could be anything. It's whatever you want, whatever you desire in your heart.
Absolutely anything. That's right.
And so if I had to leave you with one thing, it's that. Figure out where you're going. Actually, I'll tell you a little story. Have we got some time?
Sure do.
It's just a little analogy I developed, a little story, to let people understand the importance of knowing where you're going.
Okay.
And you set out in your car and you're going to go for a drive. And you're going to go for a drive. You don't know where you're going. You're just kind of going for a drive. And so you're coming down the street, and all of a sudden you see your neighbor there, and he's washing his driveway, he's washing his car, and hey, how's it going? Where are you going? I don't know, I'm just going for a drive. Oh, hey, why don't you come in, man? My wife just made some coffee and fresh cookies. Let's come on in and let's chat a little bit. Okay, yeah, sure. You're not going anywhere, so I'll stop and go have a coffee and cookies, and then you'll finish with that, and you'll head off on the road again. And next thing you know, your wife or husband will call you and say, "Hey, you think you could stop by the store and pick up this whatever?" "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" And you'll stop and you'll go and pick that up, and you'll continue on your route, and something else will happen, and you'll have many distractions along the way because you're not really set on any particular direction. You're just kind of going anywhere. But when you've decided that you're going downtown and you're going to be there for 5 o'clock, well, that exact same path, you're going to head down the street, and your neighbor is going to be washing his car. Say, "Hey, where are you going, man? Come on in." I can't. I got to go downtown. I got to be there by 5.
Right.
Just come in. It's going to take 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. I can't. I got to be there by 5. I got to go. See you later.
Right.
And as you keep driving, your wife or husband will call you and say, hey, do you think you can just stop and maybe afterwards, but I got to get downtown. I got to be there by 5.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. And then you keep driving and your mom or sister or somebody else is going to call you and say, hey, why don't you come by for I can't. I got to be downtown by 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then lo and behold, it's traffic. It's rush hour. Now you're going to hit traffic on the highway. Oh man, I got to get there by 5. What am I going to do? You stop? No, because you know where you're going. You know exactly what time you got to get there.
Right.
So you're going to find another way. I'm going to back up out of this highway. I'm going to get onto the service road. I'm going to take a shortcut. You're going to hit more traffic. What do? Do you stop?
No
No.
way. Right.
You find your way. Next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock and you're not quite there. Do you stop?
No.
No, you pick up the phone, you call your appointment, say, hey, I'm going to be a little late, but I'm there. I'm almost there. No problem. And you show up maybe 10 minutes late, or maybe you do show up on time, but you knew exactly where you're going, you knew exactly what time you were going to get there at, and nothing was going to stop you. That's the importance of knowing where you're going.
That's a very good example. That's a very, very good metaphor. Yes.
Wonderful.
And that's exactly how it is.
It's
and all
exactly.
those little obstacles that come in the way, if you know where you're going, they're little obstacles. They're not going to stop you, like he said. They're not going to stop you.
That's right. You know where you're going.
Matt, very cool. Very, very, very cool. All right, my dear. Now.
Thank you. I hope that was good for you.
Oh my gosh, I hope it's good for you. Tell them the website they can get hold of you, whatever, any kind of contact information, because somebody might want you to come help them out.
Well, I have my website for my construction company. You go to www.deviconstruction.com. That's D as in Donald, E as in Edward, V as in Victor, I as in Ingrid, construction.com. And on the website, there's a contact with info@deviconstruction.com. You can email that, and I will get the email. Or you can just email me at Matt, M-A-T-T, @deviconstruction.com. If anybody wants to chat, I'm always available. I love talking about this stuff.
Oh, Matt, thank you so, so much. It was
Thank you,
so
Alena.
much fun. And everyone, I want to thank you for attending our podcast. This was a very special podcast, and Matt is a very special man. So if you want to learn more, it's alenachapman.com is my website. Take a look and see all the other wonderful podcasts we have available. And most important, make it an awesome day. Thank you. Bye-bye. You can learn more about me by visiting alenachapman.com or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.